put on or asked so many days ahead, and we took our place. Everybody wants to call, you know. It cost about $35 or something. I don't remember what the cost was. May have been guilders, probably Dutch guilders. But this immaterial. Anyway, we set the time, and we had to pay for it ahead of time, and we was given 3 minutes to talk. And what we was doing, you talk a little bit, and then you say, operator, I can't hear nothing, I can't hear nothing. And this way, we got to talk something in 5 minutes. Just by jiggling the phone and say, I can't hear nothing. I got to hear somebody, and you complain like hell. And they keep trying to say, now can you hear, and so forth. And just a little bit, I hear a little bit. And we mess around, and I don't know, I'll probably talk 5 minutes on a conversation.
Yeah.
Supposed to go 3. And I think I called home more than once. I think I called a couple of times, or maybe 2 probably.
Well, I remember at least one.
And the thing is, you can't tell them about it. They're supposed to have told the people out in when somebody's going to call.
Yeah.
For a week off, we were understood that they had sent another wire through that these people are going to call off these times, and everybody was alerted.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we were at this one base. I stayed, initially I was in the house, being a battery commander and so forth. I was a big shot, and I had a house. Initially, see, I had no other officer with me. I was the only officer at the time in the battery.
Yeah.
And I had the house. And I had the house by myself until this lieutenant was brought out of Borneo that got drunk up there and told the Dutch that what he was going to do, this, that, and the other, and he was going to shoot him or something. They had to get him out. And finally, they wired U.S. forces in Java, told the colonel down there to get the son of a bitch out of there. That's what the Dutch did. So they flew a plane up there and picked him up and brought him down to Java. And when they got him down there, they found what he was and so forth, and they assigned him to me. I said, what for? What you going to do? So I immediately turned him over to Lost Battalion. I don't remember his name. He was a June hound. He come in with a whole basket of gin. So I got rid of him. And I guess I don't know, I'm trying to think how long I was in the house. I was in that house as long as I was
But
in.
when did you send, about this telegram now we're looking at here, and as best we figured it's, well, I don't know, I can't tell. I can see 42, and it's
I've had
probably,
a Dutchman. I could probably figure it out.
I'll bet it's 11/1, because
What?
it's the, I think it must be January the 11th.
That like
42.
she wired me to say she got my cable,
That's right.
which I sent a cable from Java.
Yep.
And I don't know what it said, what was in it, nothing. We couldn't tell them exactly where we were.
You somewhere you know, when you sent that footlocker home, you had a map. Inside, there was an atlas or a book or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, you remember this?
No, man, no.
I do remember, because I remember seeing it, because there was a map inside, and you had marked in the map where you
Had been?
had been.
Yeah, could have been.
And when it came home, why, you know, of course, it just was out of the
I
blue.
knew. You see, the footlocker that I sent home from Java,
Mm-hmm.
this was probably, I sent that probably in, I'm going to say February 1 to 15 probably. We received word that there's going to be a ship in the harbor, certain time, was going to go back to the States, and anybody going to send anything home to load it on the ship. Now, we were in Malong, which is 40 kilometers from Jakarta.
Mm-hmm.
No, not Jakarta. Yeah, Jakarta.
Or Surabaya.
Surabaya, right. And so I got all the people I had, everything that everyone said. I had a truckload, 2.5-ton truck full of stuff. And including that, I sent my trunk. I think it's a big trunk.
Yeah.
Seemed to me.
Big footlocker.
Bigfoot. And did I send my golf club? No, I lost my golf clubs. Probably footlocker is about all I had sent.
Mm-hmm.
I got all together. We loaded them all out in a pile, put them in a truck. Everybody's supposed to put the name where it's supposed to go. Went down to survive. That's when, as we got to the edge of town, they were being bombed. Jap bombers were dropped on the port. So we hung around and watched a while, and finally went down, and we went to Navy headquarters. That was the only place we knew to go to find out what port, what ship or something we took stuff down on. Finally, from Navy headquarters, they directed us down to where we were supposed to go. And I went down, I had a driver with me. And we went down to the port, and I found the ship, and I hollered at the skipper, and told him I got a bunch of stuff to go back to the States. And he said, put her on out here. So he swung a big swing over there, a sling job, the basket of ferret. Loaded everything on it. Everything rolled, tumbled, this, that, another one. Nothing, no stacked job. And it all on the ship. And then when I left, that's when I went by Navy headquarters, and I ran into this kid in one of the halls of the lithographic plates, the Philippine Islands, and load them on to get them out of the way. And that was just before I unloaded this stuff. Take it back. I had to unload, put it back on, load it again, then take it to the dock.
Yeah.
He was such a big hurry about the lithographic plates. He's got a Purple Heart for it. And so we carried it down and put it on the little car. The little cars are almost little. Yeah. They seal them, and they peep, peep, peep through the so and so. Now, when after to load the stuff on the ship, we turned around to go home, go back to Milan. And at the same time I was there, Tokyo Rose is announcing that U.S. Navy headquarters just been bombed, and they didn't hit U.S. Navy headquarters, I thought they did. And that they are now making arrangements to move. This is the truth, they're making arrangements to move right then. And she knew it, somebody told them, but they didn't hit headquarters Navy. They missed it, 4 blocks further down. They had in some other direction. But anyway, they missed it. The Navy was then folding stuff up to get out of there immediately. Now, we left there and went back to Milan. And, well, one of the things that was funny, this is the funniest thing of all, I had a Sergeant Schleiber, C-L-I-B-E-R, first sergeant. Well, the boys in the outfit pulled a trick on him. So the night before, everybody's packing everything they got to put in this footlocker. They opened up his trunk and they put a pair of black ladies' drawers right first thing on the top of his footlocker. He didn't open it to look, so he didn't know they had done this.
Yeah.
So after it's loaded and gone, about 6 or 8 days later, maybe a week, they told us that the ship was sunk on the way home. And we all felt bad about it, and we didn't hear any more. So then they came out that they had framed him, and he said, thank God the goddamn ship sunk. And this, that, and another. And that in the meantime, between the two periods, telling him that he was in there and telling us the ship was sunk. When they told us in there, man, he was trying to call his wife and explain to his wife, and he spent, he called her a number of times and telling her what they told him they did. He says, I don't know, but they told me. And then, now, come along, 6 months later, or a year later, then we heard that the ship had arrived in Brooklyn, New York. And I received some kind of notification that it did arrive in Brooklyn and that my footlocker was shipped home soon. And they did ship it home. Now, you must have received that in probably July, August.
I don't remember.
Anyway, now, as far as the cable, I can't figure this out.
Well, that's January. Anyway, let's get on. So let's get back to Jakarta, because you got to Jakarta
Anyway,
with 30 guys.
I got there. So we went down and got on board ship.
Yeah.
Everybody's on deck. We've got Indians, we've got Australians, we've got some Americans. The senior American is a major that run a nightclub in Singapore, and they made him a direct appointment to a major for special service, and here he is on there. He didn't know damn thing about there or nothing. He is a senior aboard this thing. Everybody else hiring that flew out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? We get on board. So we pick a spot out in the middle of the deck. I have one lieutenant. There's an Australian lieutenant here. And men around us everywhere. We just, wherever you are, and make yourself place to sit down, that's it. I had a bottle of White Horse that I brought from San Antonio all the way. I had it there in my footlocker.
San Antonio.
And we took that on my birthday, on March the 3rd. I took it out and we celebrated my birthday. But this time we were already headed further south, I'll tell you that much.
So what, did you,
Anyway.
is that the boat that got out?
That's the boat that got out. There's 3 others was sunk. We were, initially, but one boat took off and goes, and another goes, and another goes, and we were the last one. They're ahead of us. So, skipper, that big fat Dutchman's about 5 feet 4, and from the port was signaling him to get in convoy, get in convoy. And he, where back said, is no convoy here. What is the convoy for? There's no, you got no protection. Hell with them. So I ain't about to go on a bunch of other ships. So he pulls off out here and he starts zigzagging. Now mind you, half our propeller's out of the water.
Why? Because you got no cargo?
No. All the ballast they had was one of those little bitty trains in the middle of the ship, the bottom. And it wasn't enough to get the pellets down the water.
Okay.
We had nothing else. The Dutch had 2 officers besides the captain, as far as I know. And here we are. We're off on a jump. Now this is about 6 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe 6:30, I don't know. And here we are. We're out by ourselves.
So this is March the 3rd, 42.
Oh, this is not my birthday yet.
Oh, this is
I'm
before.
2 days away, if I remember correctly, at least one. So we got on board. We've got no life preservers. And before we left, they threw on gasoline barrels and they threw on bamboo and string and rope and crap like this. And we had to take the bamboo and put it around barrels and make floats.
Okay.
If you wanted to swim, you could swim. So they were busy. We had no toilet on deck.
Oh, God.
They had to make a place where people go and use the toilet, run over the side,
Where did you
and
go?
pump salt water in there. And if you didn't have any food, you didn't eat.
You didn't have anything to eat?
No. All we had is what we picked up, because I'm honest, all we had.
Oh, goodness, you poor fellow.
And,
They were living.
we weren't by ourselves.
I guess
So
you
there's
were.
no food on the boat. You don't get it out of the boat. No mess, nothing.
My
Well,
God.
now mind you, now this is in the afternoon. So we're headed out, we're circling. We go on the next morning about 9 o'clock. We get an SOS that the ship's been torpedoed. Dirt red, they look over yonder and you see black smoke coming up. We head further this way, and we're still going. About 30 minutes more, another one's torpedoed, and they go for help, and look over here and we see the smoke over again, generally over here. We're getting farther away. We never did hear from the other one. We didn't know whether we assumed it got sunk or not. We don't know. But we're breezing on out. About 30 minutes later, here comes a jet plane flying over. And I looked at it and I said, that's a recon plane. It's got, probably none of the guns. And so he starts searching. So I went back to the sergeant and I said, let's find some ammo for a 50 caliber Browning. So we went back and asked the skipper, does he have any ammunition for a 50 caliber Browning? Yeah, they're down in the port side on the bottom deck. This time I didn't know how many decks were on it. So me and the sergeant and one officer, we went down here. So about dark, it's so dark that the flashlight didn't show this far. I had a flashlight. And so went about this far. And you find your way. We went down here, we walked down here, go down here, back down here, walk down here, and back down here. I get to the bottom. Here's the 500-pound bomb down there, rolling the ship like this. Every time the ship rolls, they roll back and forth. You'll break your ankle. You got to dodge them and get around to get up yonder where we're going. We creep by and finally get down there at the end of the ammunition's over. I pick up a belt. The Dutch officer wouldn't carry one. The sergeant carried 2. You know, a belt of ammunition for a machine gun is not light. And one's all I could carry, so I threw it on, it's grease and all, and he got 2. And so we struggled up here and back and forth, and we finally come out on top, air.
In between decks is nothing. We get out, we come over here, here's that plane, on the way on again. Go still circles. So we go right quick, we got the 50-cal machine gun, draw the rope and tied it around the rail. We got it where we could do this way up to that so much, and we could go this way a little bit, this way. So when told the skipper, when the plane gets back on this side again, turn the ship so we can shoot at him. He did. We're firing, every third one's a tracer. And we see tracers, you know, like a C-47's got a door about halfway back, you go in and out. We're watching the tracers go through that part of the ship. We're not leading him enough.
Yep.
Leading, way, you only lead more, you don't lead enough. He turned off on us. Well, we couldn't shoot at him anymore, couldn't get the gun to him, so we had to wait. In the meantime, he comes over here and drops his belly tanks. He's a recon plane, he's got a spare tank. He drops them and missed about 4 or 500 yards over there. Splattered in the water is all, and he's gone. Then we divert, we keep zigzagging on west. We finally come into Fremantle, Australia.
Perth.
Right next to Perth. Well, and the 3rd of March is my birthday, so that's when we had the
You were in Perth when you opened the Scotch?
oh no, it was on the way. That's before we got there. As we're coming into Fremantle, first thing we saw was a ship that the whole front end was blown off. It's like you took a hatchet and cut off this much of the ship. This is all gone. It's a freighter. Next thing we saw was, you know, the old landing mats that they use for cargo, to unload cargo on it, or grill iron stuff and got floating stuff underneath them. Here's one that somebody's fired a torpedo in and just got a great big groove in the damn thing, sticking up everywhere, but still floating. And then we saw another ship that had been hit. And then I saw a Navy submarine tender. And they finally pull us in, park us, and take us out to some place out there. By this time, we got no cigarettes. So I go down to the submarine, told them to stay there. I'd see him later. I went down to the submarine tender, and I bought a whole carton of cigarettes. Just got a carton, what I could get. I think it's about 6 cents a pack I paid for them. Carried them back, open them up, you only can take what you want. I ended up with about 6, 7 cartons. Nobody wanted it. You can't take all this stuff with you. You got no place to put it.
Yeah.
Some of them even throw in the barracks bag. We got no barracks bag. Just got clothes in the back.
Yeah.
They don't want to carry stuff. And they carried us out to a little place there, and we were there. I'd passed everybody's cigarettes, and there's not a damn thing to do. It's a desolate type of situation, except what's at the port. And Navy activities going on there and so forth. And so we got instructions that we'd be leaving on a train a certain time. And we got on the train, Australian. You know, in Australia, every province, the tracks are different gauge.
Right.
You stop and unload and reload, and you go again. You stop and load, reload. That's where the whole
How many times did you change as you went across Australia?
Oh, 2 or 3 times. We went all the way. It's the longest straight railway line in the world. And you travel 2 or 3 days, and just a straight line as you ever saw in life. And the only thing you see is once in a while you find a water spout, water tower, where the train cranks up water. And then at those places you would see spotty
Village or settlers?
The niggers that are over.
Oh, Aborigines.
Aborigines. And
Well, you brought back a billy.
a what?
A billy.
A billy?
Yeah.
Wait.
For making tea?
Oh, probably did. Probably did. I don't know. I don't remember what you're talking about.
It's a little thing like this, a little tin
Oh yeah,
can.
boy, tea. Oh yeah. You see them everywhere. I watched those natives You
But
can-
you know what a billy is. I mean, you said that every now and then
I never
the
called it
conductor.
billies. That's a little pot to cook tea in.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, I brought it back as copper probably.
No, it was a tin can.
Tin can?
Yeah, it was in a leather
Oh,
container.
yeah. Well, I think that was yours in the scout affair.
Yeah, you brought it back from
Did I?
Australia.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
where it came
maybe
from.
did.
But
Anyway.
see, you said that the conductors used to stop the train and make
Oh,
tea.
10 o'clock and they stop the train. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, stop train.
Right?
Everybody gets off and they make boiled tea.
See.
You sit there like a damn fool and watch them. Unless you want to boil tea too.
Gee,
Or if you got a rifle and you see some roos out somewhere, you can shoot some kangaroos while they're waiting. And when they have their tea, we
What'd
get
you
back on
wanna
the train
shoot
and
'em
poop,
for?
poop, and here we go again. Now we end up going pretty close to Adelaide, on into Melbourne,
I know.
Mm-hmm.
on that train.
Yeah, I know.
And we got to Melbourne. We were met by the somebody that said they run the place, American stayed and this, that, and the other. Actually, it's just an area that they were designated to use for that, I guess. Carried us out there, and then I was told I had to report to Adjutant General tomorrow morning. And mind you, I still got a day report. I got a battery of artillery, and this is all I got left. I got a morning report. What for, I don't know.
Where are you sending your morning report?
Don't send it anywhere, I'm hold them. Now,
But
next
what, you
morning
say you got 30 people?
yeah, that's right, they're still signed my outfit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a battery commander, I haven't been relieved. So, next morning I go report to the adjutant, what's called an adjutant general, and he says, his name was Fitch. He's a brigadier general, just been made brigadier general. He says, you're gonna be the new headquarters commandant for General MacArthur. And I says, what do I do? You'll find out. Now, the first thing he did, I said, I got the men here. He said, well, you just keep them with you. They'll be assigned to your outfit, just like you are. So I start forming a company. They're in my battery, but they're also reassigned to the company. So I report to that general. He tells me that General MacArthur will be down here at such a time. He's on his way from the Philippines. And they remember his trip coming out of there where they went and this, that, and the other. And had Ms. MacArthur and his son and a bunch of guys he sneaked out with him and so forth. And so I figured I had, according to what he said, probably a week. And I said, where's headquarters? He told me where it was, 901 Collins Street or 902 Collins Street. And, we got a 9-story building that we're taking over. And said, you set it up and give me a drawing of where you think various people should be without knowing how many or what, nothing. I'm really blind. I go down and look the building over and I see it's empty rooms, not a damn thing in them. I gotta have desks, typewriters, and you name it. So I went back and told him, I said, hell, I don't know how you want to sign. I said, you don't put the general up top, the general at the bottom, how do you want to fix it? He said, give me a drawing. I always wanted a drawing. Take a piece of paper and say 9th floor, 8th floor, and go down, this, that, and the other. That's which I did. So I figured the general and chief staff would be on the top floor and all the lesser people would be down below. 2 elevators back and forth. So I said, well, I've got to get some supplies. Where are you going to get them? He said, I didn't know where the quartermaster was. No, I don't know where nothing is. In the meantime, I find where this ship that they unloaded has got an untold amount of stuff that belongs somewhere. And I took my lieutenant and give him 4 or 5 men. I call them the 40 Thieves. And I said, go down and see what you can scamper up. So he goes down, he finds that the guard takes 45 minutes to make his round. And he picks out, when the guard goes by, they drive the truck up and they start loading boxes. Looked like it might have something in it.
Now, these are from, these 4 or 5 guys are from your 30 unit, 30
Yeah,
men?
yeah. Well, when they brought them back and unloaded the stuff, believe it or not, I found 12 pen and ink sets. You know, you'd pay 15, 20 bucks a piece for anyway. It's just an ink pen, ink, not the ballpoint, but had a regular
Yeah, fountain
pen
pen.
on there, the older stuff. I got 12 of those, okay? I'll give the generals one apiece. I'll get rid of them. We had boxes of knitting yarn. And any color you want.
I think that this might be a good time to stop. Because I have a feeling that this is gonna,
Get real good, real.
yeah. And I'm gonna, oh, I gotta do it over here.
Sergeant says, here's where I get me a sweater. He gets a couple of boxes and goes down to the gal that runs the elevator, one Australian gal. Her job is to run the elevator.
Mm-hmm.
And he made a deal with her to knit him a sweater.
Okay.
And she said, what size? I don't know. She said, look, I'll tell you. She made him a sweater. It could have fit 2 people as big as yours. Just, you know, it could have, it didn't fit nobody. So little by little, like she knitted 3 or 4 around there, they finally get them down small enough that somebody can wear one.
Yeah.
And they brought me one. I didn't want it. I didn't have a place to wear a white sweater, you know. So I didn't want nobody to know what I had in the warehouse. I didn't want the general to know. And so meantime, I found the quartermaster, and I found the only way I knew what the quartermaster has to go in there and look and see. I found some typewriters. I found about 6. And one great long in there that I don't really know what to use it. I took it anyway. So I went back to the adjutant general and I'd get a requisition for so many typewriters, various kinds. Back to Command General MacArthur. I'll give them to him. God damn, we had one to do this, that, and other. I got everything. I took everything that come in. Every typewriter, any paper or anything else I could use, I got it all. And I'd go back every time. I'd scout through, mirror the lieutenant, scout and see what they got, and then go back and requisition it. And have the adjutant general put back to Command General MacArthur. And they were complaining about me and my 40 thieves down there, and yet I was filling things up. I got desks. I got, you would never imagine
Especially Marie's desk.
the stuff that I pulled in. So, trouble is, I didn't want to get stuck or get caught stealing. I didn't want the lieutenant to get caught. So I said, you better ensure that when you go down there tonight, pick up some more stuff. What's the time he goes around and so forth? You know, we were every night. We could make another haul. So you don't have time, but you load the truck one time and get the hell out of there. It's about all you got time to do tonight, because you bring it back, put it on a elevator, and carry it up there at the 2nd and 3rd floor and unload it, and you open it up to see what you come out with. And 50-cent stuff you didn't need, had no use for it. Then we got a problem trying to get rid of it. How are you going to get rid of it? You can't go back and tell me that I stole it. You no place to put it. You can't give it away. So we just keep it. So this went on for quite a while.
But now, all these typewriters and stuff you're requisitioning?
Oh, I'm putting them in the first general's room. Give all the generals a typewriter.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need it, but they'll have somebody using it. And I had a place to put them. Initially, I put them all in one room, locked the room, so nobody steal them. Oh,
But then all this other stuff,
everybody steals over there. You know, you got nothing, you're going to take anything you get. So we became experts, and we accumulated. Now, I only brought the typewriters out when somebody's going to move in. Of course, the general's office, we got him a carpet even. We got a big rug up there. Where'd it come from? Hell, I don't know. It was here. You know, it wasn't here, but it's there now. And everybody else complained, why can't I have a rug? Quartermaster's out of them. He didn't have it in the first place. But anyway, they don't know that. I went out and gave him a pen. You want a pen? Oh, thank you. So where'd you get this? Quartermaster said it was for you. You want to sign for it? No, hell, I'll keep it. And when oh, I'm telling you, down the road it gets funnier and funnier.
We better leave so you get the rest of this on tape, John.
I think that's why. This is go all night.
One day, mind you, I got a sign about that headquarters commandant.
Get ready, 'cause he won't
But this
be
time we changed the name to GHQ,
Yeah.
General Headquarters. And I've got about, by this time I've got about 12 generals, I guess. And didn't take very long before one of them's got a Flossie, haired, red hair today, yellow tomorrow, green tomorrow, and she run a beauty shop.
Now, this is one of the secretaries, or what?
Oh no, she's an Australian girl. And the general picked her up, or the hell he got her, I don't know. Anyway, he was with her every night. And
Now, which general?
this was anti-aircraft, first one was anti-aircraft general.
Was Sutherland.
He was a major general, 2 stars.
Yeah.
And, well, I can get to several before it's over. The one that caused me to get fired is one that's the crux of the thing. There,
Come on, John, go pack. This is gonna go on.
Bessie Marie, they called her. Bessie Marie had a 4-year-old kid, and she hadn't seen her husband in 8 years. She married to a British Highlander. That thing running now?
Yeah.
Married to a British Highlander with a long mustache.
Do you want the thing running now?
I don't care.
Okay.
When it starts back again, I probably know where I am. Anyway, let me give you.
Well, let's say that this is the 19th of February.
It is the 19th of February, 1988, in fact. The other day, while we were doing about the same thing, only we hadn't got to Bessie Marie, and I was going to tell you about my initial introduction to Bessie Marie and who she was, and a little bit about her. It's entertaining because there's 4 colonels and one brigadier general that was chased off on account of her, and I was the first colonel. I was a lieutenant colonel then. And
No, wait, were you lieutenant colonel then? You were captain.
no, I was a lieutenant colonel then. No, I was a major when it first started, but
Now, wait, when did
Bessie
you?
Marie hadn't come into the picture, so
Let's start
let's
over
see.
because when you got you.
I got to skip my timing back and see. Let me tell you about regards to what rank it was, and I'll tell you it may come into focus where it was or what rank it was at the time. And I have to think back because we'd already gone to Brisbane this time when I met her.
Well,
We had been in Melbourne and we rode.
well, let's start over a moment because you came across. We went through Perth yesterday. Yeah.
Oh yeah, well.
And we got you on the train across
As far as
Australia.
she's concerned, she was not in the picture. And I came across the long train ride from Perth into Adelaide into Melbourne.
Okay, well
She
then.
was not in the picture.
Okay, well let's don't
She
talk
probably
about
was, but I didn't know anything about
it.
her. You see,
Well, but see, when you first, before you get to Bessie Marie, when you first got there, you were headquarters commandant, and you told us about trying to equip the office and getting everything started before MacArthur got there.
Yeah,
And then MacArthur finally got there.
yeah.
What happened? What was that like?
Well, it was like anything else. As far as we were concerned, we saw him like everybody else did, and so forth. And I was a little closer touch because I was in and out. And I knew his aide. One time he had 2 aides, and then finally got rid of one of them for some reason or other. One was a pilot and an assistant aide or something. The other was lieutenant colonel, medical officer. So anyway, I knew him very well, and I probably had better access to him than most anybody else, other than the staff officers that were in with him. I was a different kind of a flunky, so to say, because I knew all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I knew every general and every colonel in the whole caboodle. Mind you, we ended up with 9 floors. We were on 901 Collins Street, I guess, 901 or 902 Collins Street in Melbourne. And then we took over a few other little places on the side. We got back to another building not too far away. We made a supply room over there. We took off about 2 floors over there, I guess, second and third floors. We really needed the third floor to put some stuff that we didn't want to be seen on the second floor. That makes sense? In other words, if the fellow guy wanted a sweater made, he had to get stuff off the third floor
Mm-hmm.
and to make the sweater. Anyway, I had Lieutenant Evans, and he was a pretty good scrounger. And let me see what this is. I'm trying to think. See, we were in Melbourne quite a while, and
What was it when Mark MacArthur came in? How many people were in the staff to start with?
well, I don't know. Offhand, I don't know. He brought with him some colonels that he had in the staff, and really made them really gentlemen got in there. And remember, they came and started out in 3 PT boats, and one of them conked out and became a 2, a little more crowded up and so forth. And they stayed close to shore as near as they could in the nighttime, and they could get out a little more away from the shore. But during the daytime, they would try to stay in a more or less defined path where they knew where they were, and other people know where they're going too. So when they lost one boat, they all piled up in 2. And then when they got down at the end of Mindanao, they were out in the open sea to go from there down to New Guinea. And didn't have an airplane to fly with them, or to bring them down, but did have an airplane after they got to Darwin. They went from Mindanao into Darwin, and from there they were flown down to Melbourne from Darwin. And I didn't count them, I don't know, but not many. He brought principal staff officers.
Yep.
There wasn't any lieutenants. And, well, he brought one major that, let's see, did he come too then? No, he didn't. I don't know what the junior was, unless it was MacArthur's son or her son. But they were there.
Yeah.
And I would say there's 8 or 10, maybe a few more, most of the colonels,
Mm-hmm.
maybe, I don't know whether he brought a general officer, may have brought,
Okay. Well, anyway, they got down and
anyway, all I did, I set up the headquarters where 9th floor was General MacArthur's office, and his next room to him was General Sutherland's office, who was Lieutenant General, and he became Chief Staff. And the aides room was in close by, and then he had a little anteroom that he used for whatever he wanted to do with it. And I was down 6th floor. My office down there in about the middle of the building, and centrally located. And G1 and the Adjutant General were on my floor. Marquette, who was a 2-star general, later got this 2-star general, was on, I believe he was on my floor too. Aiken was on the floor above me, about the 7th or maybe 8th floor. He's signal officer. General Case was engineer. He was somewhere on some of the floor.
okay. Well, so they were spread all over the building.
Anyway, they got all over the building. And we began to get some Filipinos in. There were ships that were sunk. And they were all turned over to me, put them to work. And they inducted them into the American forces. They weren't already in it. And they were put on the payroll. And we got a separate building, put them in initially. And then later moved them in with the unit. See, I had, at that time, I guess I had 900, 1,000 listed men.
Where'd you get them? Now, I thought you had only about 30 that got out of.
Oh, hell, I mean, I've been accumulating from the placement centers, and every time some men came in, I went through them and called out what I wanted, and I had priority. All I needed tell the adjutant general I got 25 men out here wanted. He said, all right, write an order. I command General MacArthur. I picked them all up. So I hand-picked a lot of men. The replacement center was 8 or 10 miles away. And at the time this came about, maybe a little more. And we had the Queen Mary came in one time with thousands of men. I don't know how many, 3 or 4 or 5,000, maybe more. Loaded. And came by herself. No escort. See, Queen Mary traveled about 35, 40 knots. And it zigzagged and did its course and this, that, and the other. And the skipper wasn't scared of being torpedoed. I think I would have been of that great big ship, but I think the Gulch is almost unsinkable. Anyway, he graduated Cuba. One man I got was interesting. He arrived with a footlocker, and in the footlocker was nothing but silver. Silver coins. Any kind you want, he had it. And that was so heavy, 2 men to lift it. Heavy. And he'd run all that money shooting craps on the ship coming over. Yeah. And he didn't want to get promoted. He just wanted to stay PFC's all he wanted. He didn't want to be a corporal. So anyway, he later, while he was shooting head-on dice with an Indian, $500 a throw. And the Indians came from Oklahoma. I don't know where he got all the money. He had a lot of money and oil and so forth at the time. But it went one thing or another. Anyway, and back to the store. See, we were in Melbourne, and at that time we were fighting in Darwin, not in Darwin, in
Guinea?
yeah, in New Guinea, but we were trying to we began to scooch them into the Japanese back just a little bit, and so they decided to move to Brisbane. And we moved in 4 train loads, moved from Melbourne to to Brisbane, and 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, regular, stop the trains, boil water, make tea on the side of the tracks. And all my men, they go shoot kangaroos, you know, they were everywhere. So, anyway, in Australia, every 200 miles or every, what's called a state over there, they have different gauge railways. So when you get out of one, you got to stop and unload everything and load in another. May have been not much different with the gauge, but you couldn't run the same train on the other gauge. It stays in its own area.
Yeah.
So we had to change going to Brisbane. When we got to Brisbane, they took a number of rooms in the London's Hotel.
What hotel?
London's Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only, at that time, it was the only air-conditioned hotel in Australia. At least it was the only one in Brisbane. I don't know whether it's any further down or not, but anyway, it was air-conditioned. We had it had about 6 floors. No more than 6, I don't think. And they took over the London's for MacArthur's headquarters. So the principal officers of MacArthur's headquarters stayed in London's. So that happened to include me, and I was on the 4th floor. MacArthur was down the hall from me on the 4th floor. There's MacArthur, and his son was there. His aide was there. He had a colonel who was actually a captain in the Navy, and he was the general's aide. Well, he was the general's aide, but he was actually Mrs. MacArthur's aide. And Colonel Huff, who was General MacArthur's aide, that is for other certain things. So I had set up down while there. I had a whiskey store. I was the only one who could get whiskey from the Australians. We didn't want everybody buying whiskey from down there, so there wouldn't be any for the rest of us. So I fixed it up where I did all the buying for the whole Kabul headquarters. Not for troops outside and so forth, but for, now there was a limit, that limit on how much per man, per officer, and so forth you could have in Australia. Every time you bought so many bottles of wine, you could have one bottle of certain whiskey. So you had to balance it up, so you took some things you didn't necessarily like to have. And everybody wanted all Scotch and stuff like this. So, funny thing, one day, why, I found out that they'd been giving Colonel Huff what he asked for. He'd go down back over his aid and get what he wanted. And they were putting it on my list. And when they told me that that part was what he picked up, I said, he is not on my list. You do not give anybody any whiskey, it comes to me. And so Colonel Huff couldn't get him there anymore. So Colonel Huff came to me and I said, Colonel, last time you pulled the wool over our eyes and you got what you wanted, they charged it to my list. Remember, there's only so many bottles of certain kind of whiskey that I have, and you're going to be entitled, but we're going to use the part that you've already picked up is your part, so this time you don't get any. Now, next time we get our allotments, we'll put you on the list, but we're going to get you caught up. And he said, I don't like that very much. So I said, I don't give it any whether you do or not, that's it. So, to me, an aide is, he doesn't command nobody. He's a flunky for the general or whoever he works for. And so I wasn't going to let him pull the wool over my eyes, because I wouldn't have got nothing. So I stopped that, and then I got them where they would deliver it. I would give them the list of what I wanted, and they would deliver it. And they had certain places to deliver it. I had a whiskey store. The enlisted men used it too, but they could only get what they're allowed to have, like the officers. The officers didn't get any more than the enlisted men. Well, they may have here, there, and yonder a little bit, but primarily the enlisted men got wine and stuff that nobody else wanted. But they had a grocery store. I had a barber shop for the officers, a barber shop for enlisted men. I had 89 or 90 vehicles in the motor pool, and drivers from everything from PFC to Master Sergeant driving certain vehicles. And I know the cook, my mess sergeant was a master sergeant. I picked him out of some unit somewhere, some National Guard unit came through or something, and I cleaned him off. And I taught him to go out and buy along the coast fish, fresh fish that came in, turkeys that they found out there, chickens or deer or anything you could buy that they could eat. And I would give him cash out of the mess fund and left to his judgment. That's you know how many men you got to feed, buy everything you can get for them. Because you can't get here, we've got to get somewhere else. So we were not only with certain rations, we just didn't have everything here in the States. So most of the stuff that they got was, they had a lot of boiled lamb that nobody wanted, and nobody to eat or what to cook, so I had them throw it away. And greasy. So anyway, that was part of our mess situation. I went out here one weekend, brought back part of 2 deer, turned them over to the mess sergeant. So he took a few pieces off, and I invited the general over, not General MacArthur, I invited General Stivers over and to have a bite of steak, deer steak, and so that's all he got, what was in his plate. That's all I got in my plate. Enlisted men got a piece the same as everybody. Not too big, but it's little. I had the hides tanned. A fellow that I was hunting with is who manufactures rum. And I gave him a carton of cigarettes. He tanned the hide for nothing. Gave them back to me. And when I got back, well, he says, I want to give you a bottle of wine. So he did. And I tasted of it. It was like striking a match and putting it out. It's hot, 135 proof. And the Australians took a glass about this high, pouring about that much
wine in the bottom, the rest of it filled full of milk. I had never drank wine with milk. And
Sounds like vodka and milk.
they would go right down the horn with it. Man alive, I could take about one swallow. It all come out like a balloon. So I kept that bottle, and one night by one of the governors of the United States that had been called in active duty was sent over there, and he came up, and he's going to be in the G4 section. I met him. I didn't know him at the time. So one of my good friends who was in the G4 section called me about 3 o'clock in the morning and said, "Hey, got a friend. Bring up to your apartment." I said, "Hell, I'm asleep." He said, "You want a drink?" I said, "Well, I don't have any drink. I don't think. We got a little wine." He said, "All right." I took everything I had, what little I had, I hid it. I left the one bottle of wine on the dresser. And I said, "I'm sorry, that's all I've got." Pour it out, boy. I poured them out, both a big slug about like that. No milk or nothing, just straight. I said, "Want water?" "Oh, no." That's about half shot then. So I poured myself some. I was in bed, and I just leaned over the bed, and I said, "Well, up, down we go." And as I gave them down, I poured mine in a flower pot over here, right? And they went down with it, and you should have seen both of them break the necks to get the toilet, to get some water. They were so hot and blowing up, spitting and coughing and watching the water come out of there. I laughed and screamed. I didn't feel him bad till later.
You were mean.
But anyway, I told him, if anybody comes in that late in the morning, that's the kind of drink you get. But anyway, I was kidding him. He's a nice guy. But anyway,
What governor of what state, you know?
Nevada rings a bell, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. They made him an honorary colonel or some sort and put him in G4 section, or what he did, I don't know, other than some kind of supplies mixed up in there. That's what he's doing. And
But then how long were you in Brisbane?
I was in Brisbane from, let's see, we must have come to Brisbane. I didn't know the exact time I came up there. We must have been in Brisbane a year and a half, maybe.
Okay. Were you in Melbourne long?
No, we're in
No, but
we were
first
in Mel-
time.
Yeah, we were in Melbourne. That's where they first started. We were in Melbourne, I don't know. We were in Melbourne probably, could have been 8 or 10 months.
Were you there in Christmas?
I don't know what. Let's see. Let me go back and think. I left
Hey,
Perth.
Patty.
I left Perth about in March.
Okay.
I arrived. I was on my birthday on the boat before we got to Perth, so I must have left Perth about the 1st of April.
Okay.
And then that way I would have arrived in about May or thereabouts. I'd have been in Melbourne. I was called to report down there and this, that, and the other. And then we must have stayed there, I would say maybe a year. Could have been
Okay.
less. And from there we went to Brisbane. We got to Brisbane, I don't know the time we left, or a month either one. The war began to take some movement this time, and so I can't tell you how long.
Oh, okay.
From Brisbane, there's lots of things took place up there. Troops were coming in. I-Corps, a Corps commander came in, who was Michael Berger. Michael Berger.
Was it Mackelberger or Eichelberger?
I know. Eichelberger, I think you're right. Eichelberger. He was the Corps, supposed to be the Corps commander. And he was a 3-star general. He had about 1,500 troops in his headquarters department, and they were all attached to me. Attached. So I've already got 900 or 1,000, and now I've got 1,500 more. They're attached. Now, it was kind of a paper attachment. I really had nothing to do with them, what they did, other than to feed them and house them and so forth. And I made no money for them, other than I had them attached. And primarily that was just rations and so forth. And
during the time Mrs. Roosevelt came over there, he became the aide, so to say, of Mrs. Roosevelt, carried her around, this, that, and the other. And they didn't really have assignment for him at that time, or that much rank. And yet they could use more of what they had. Pretty rugged in New Guinea, going over the mountains up there.
Well, now, wait a minute. You in Brisbane or you in New Guinea? Where are you?
No. Our headquarters is so closely connected with New Guinea. We had a foreign headquarters, advanced headquarters.
Yeah.
I had, just give you an example, I had, some of my troops were in the headquarters advanced sector, and some were back here. I had many more back here than the advanced because we were supplying the advanced headquarters with everything.
Well, where's the advanced headquarters? Up in Lady? Or Port Moresby?
No, Fort Moresby.
Yeah.
And so
Were you running back and forth?
I was not running back and forth much. I did not have to run back and forth. I had so much to do down here.
You were.
Mind you, I'm running my job there. I had 5 officers. I had 1 captain, no majors, and the rest of the lieutenants. And I had sergeants doing officers' jobs, many places. In fact, when I was relieved later
Now,
on,
were you a major then? You're
No.
captain.
no, I was a major.
Okay.
When I was relieved, and mind you, there were myself, 3 full colonels, and a brigadier general, followed up as headquarters commandant, my cross headquarters. I was fired because I got back up again. But this time we had Bessemer Marie. And the way that started, General Aiken called me up to his office one day and said, Major, do you know we're going to have a civilian receptionist?
Now, is this in Melbourne or Brisbane?
This is in Brisbane. We'd already left. And I said, well, we don't need a civilian receptionist. We got a trouble like this. And, well, he says, whether you want to or not, we're going to have one. And he said, I want you to find a place we should put her, give her a desk and everything, and people can go there and she can forward them up and so forth. And I said, General, I got a sergeant down there that does this all the time. And I got enlisted men that do other things around there. And the one place I'd put her is down there on the base floor where the sergeant is. Well, I said, think it over. I went back to my office and I picked up the phone and called General Stivers. General Stivers is G1 personnel. Aiken is signal. He ain't got a damn thing to do with me or her, either one. So when I see General Aiken, General Stivers. I called him, I said, oh, come down and talk to you a minute. Come on down. Well, you know, he was sitting there when I walk in, his head down like this. He pulls his glasses off, he said, what's on your mind? I said, Miss General Aiken just called me down and told me we were going to have a civilian reception here. A what? I said, a civilian reception. Told me to find a place to put her and do the necessary so-and-so. He said, well, come with me. I walked in behind him and we went by General Fitch. Says, Fitch, come with me. Fitch was a bigger than 1-star general. Stivers was 2. And so here we go. We go straight into the elevator on the 6th floor, and we catch the 9th floor elevator and go up to Chief of Staff's office. So the general walks in. Fitch followed him on in. I went into the aides room. I said, I figured it hadn't done all the business there. I was shooting business with the aide. I could hear everything going on. So General Stivers says, General, John Day tells me we're about to have a female receptionist. Oh, Charlie, didn't I tell you about that? I guess I forgot about it. I mentioned Aiken the other day. Yeah, I said, I thought we should dress the headquarters up just a little bit. And said she'll be up before long. And take care of her, will you? Said, see what you got to do, what you got to do with it. Okay, General, out he goes. He walks out this, the Fitch walks out this, I'm falling behind him. as we going down the stairs, go down to the elevator. 1, 2, and 3. Walked down by Fitch's office, and Fitch fell out. Says, all right, General, I'll see you later. General Stivers, I followed him right on down to his office. He sat down behind his desk. His glass on. I said, Major, we are going to have a female reception.
That was it.
Yeah, so I told him what I told Aiken, and he said, well, work up a plan, tell me what you want to do. Thank you very much. Nice guy.
This
So-
is General, what's this guy's name?
Stivers.
Stivers.
And he's always the same way, always the same way. And he always just called me Major, he didn't call me John. So I went through everything I think of, and I came up with the idea. There's no other place for her down there in the basement, only where all the people come in, enters the building. I got guards on the elevator, guards on the doors, and